Ukraine?
Well, it doesn't appear to have any impact on the military capabilities of Russia. They don't seem to have struck any military targets. Instead, it appears that it's residential buildings which have been hit. It's not clear if this was intentional or if they were going for a different target. But nonetheless, the consequences will be that this is deemed to be a huge escalation. Again, in the past, Zelensky said that they would not target either Putin or Moscow, but obviously there was a drone attack earlier this month on Moscow, on attacking the Kremlin, and now, of course, this attack on directly on Moscow, on these residential buildings. Now, it's obviously this is in retaliation for the Russian attacks on Kyiv over the past 2 days. But again, this is how we see the dangerous escalation is growing out of control, because Russia will definitely respond to this in a very strong manner, possibly going after Zelensky himself.
Right. There are some people who are saying that this could be a retaliation from Ukraine because Russia launched a wave of flying bombs on Kyiv, killing one person yesterday. What do you think?
Yeah, it's quite possible. Again, this is how escalations tend to work, as we've seen now over the past few weeks, with the British sending their long-distance missiles. They're sending ammunition with depleted uranium. The NATO side sending their F-16s. And all of this is, well, including the attack on the Kremlin with drones, of course, all of these are escalations. The Russians then escalate in return, and now we see the Ukrainians escalating as well. So this is the problem of escalation, where neither side really has the escalation dominance in terms of being able not just to escalate tensions, but also de-escalate.
Right.
So this can very quickly spiral out of control, and it's quite possible that Moscow will hold the West responsible for this as well.
Glenn, Russia's defense ministry tweeted a message this morning. They say that this morning the Kyiv regime carried out a terrorist attack with drones on targets in the city of Moscow. 8 drones were used in the attack. All of the enemy drones were downed, and they also say that Ukraine was behind the drone attack in Moscow. What do you read from this message?
Well, it doesn't say much beyond what's already become available information. I mean, there couldn't be anyone else besides Ukraine launching these drones. So the wording, though, of course, terrorist attack, yes, you can argue because it targets civilian infrastructure, but the language used by Ukraine, NATO, Russia, it tends to, in wartime, we often see the language being used to either assign or deprive the various actors of legitimacy. So,
all right, I've been talking to Glenn Deason. He's a professor of international relations, University of Southeastern Norway. Glenn, thank you for talking to We On Wild is One.
My pleasure.